Spending time with Jesus. We hear that it's a thing to do, right? We're supposed to be Christians. We're supposed to spend time with Jesus. How do we do that? What does that look like? How do we spend time with someone who's invisible? This is the video for you. Stay tuned because class is in session. So let's talk about two different things. We're going to talk about tips as far as spending time with Jesus, and then we're going to talk about what to actually do when you're spending time with Jesus. So let's start off with the tips. First and foremost, it's going to be similar to what I mentioned in the video about how to study the Bible. You want to create a routine and you want to prioritize it. So add it into your schedule. Make it something that you are doing on a daily basis. This is something that you should incorporate into your daily life. It will help you so much as you go through this life. So as you're creating this routine, make sure that you're making it a priority. Don't just add it on to the bottom of the list, just hoping that you get to it, because you won't. So prioritize it. Put it at the top of your schedule. That is a very important tip. Number 2, make sure that you're going to do it at a time when you are awake. And I know that sounds crazy, like, duh, of course we would. But here's the thing. We fool ourselves and we think that, oh, I can just read it in my bed. No, you can't. You're going to fall asleep. It's guaranteed. This is like the easiest way to fall asleep. And that does not mean that the Bible is boring. But by the end of the day, we get in our bed, we get all cozy, and we start to read it. And you're going to wake up tomorrow with the Bible on your face. It's not going to work. Make sure that you do it at a time when you are awake. If you have kids, if you have a busy schedule, maybe you work shift work, it may be a little different and you may want to do it at a different time. That's okay. Just find a time that works for you. So that is tip number 2. Tip number 3, remove any distractions. If you're going to spend time with Jesus, you want to make sure that you're not distracted by everything else. I try not to take my phone into my time of spending time with the Lord. I try not to be on social media or anything else before I get started, because then my brain just starts racing and then I'm not in the right space to spend time with Him. So remove those distractions. Get in a place where you can be alone. If you have kids and you're trying to figure out what that looks like, maybe do it before they get up or when they're taking a nap or something like that, to put you in that right mindset so you can have that undistracted, fully devoted time. Number 4, always make sure that you are praying. Prayer is important. As you're going into this time of spending time with Jesus, you want to make sure that you are really focusing, that you are preparing yourself for what you're about to do. So don't just go in like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this little thing here and there. Really take time to pray beforehand, pray during, and pray after. Similar to what I mentioned in the other video about how to study the Bible, which if you haven't, go ahead and check that out as well. That gives you great tips of what to do and what not to do when it comes to studying the Bible. Number 5, last but not least, keep it spicy. You want to keep it spicy. Don't do the same thing all the time. That gets boring. That gets lame. You'll get in a rut. You won't enjoy it anymore. Boo, boo, lame, tomato. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep it spicy. So that may mean that you switch up the location. Maybe one day you decide to journal. One day you decide to do something else. Maybe you want to spend time with Jesus with other people, with a group of Christian friends. Do something different. You don't want to go through the same thing over and over and over again. So those are 5 tips on how to spend time with Jesus. Now let's switch over a little bit and let's talk about what are things that you can do as you're spending time with Jesus, right? We're talking about spending time. What does that look like? What do you actually do? I remember for me, I didn't hear about quiet time, Jesus time, all of that. I didn't hear about that until I got to college. And then people are like, what do you do in your quiet time? I'm like, oh, what is quiet time? Right? Like, I didn't even know what that meant. They were using real, like, I guess, Christian language. And I was like, don't know what that means. And then when someone broke it down to me, I was like, oh, cool. And then I developed my own schedule, my own routine from that. You can do the same. I encourage you to find what works for you. So now let's talk about some things that we can do as we spend time with Jesus. It's good to have tips, but we also need to know what to do. So first and foremost, prayer is always going to be an essential part of spending time with Jesus. This is how you communicate with Him. We have access through Jesus Christ to speak to God the Father. This is how we do it, through prayer. And that doesn't have to be super fancy. You don't got to use all the big words. Spending time in prayer, being honest with God, telling him how you feel, thanking him for who he is, praising him for what he's done. All of that is encompassed within prayer. So prayer is key, and it's going to be very important that you do it throughout your time with Jesus. It doesn't have to be just when you get started. You can pray throughout the session or the time that you spend with him as well. Also, obviously, reading your Bible is a big part. This is how we get to know God, how we get to know what he wants us to become and who we can be through him. So praying, reading the Bible, listening to worship music is also a big one. This is getting you in that right headspace. It's preparing you to really spend time with Jesus. It helps you to remove those distractions that we mentioned and really tell yourself, okay, we're focusing on Jesus. This is the time to do it. Get you a playlist together. I have a quiet time playlist that I use sometimes, and this helps me, once again, to remove those distractions. You don't have to worry about shuffling through the songs. You don't have to worry about trying to find the good one that you like. It's already going to be there. It's already ready for you, and you can, once again, remove those distractions. Focus on that time with Jesus, and worship music just changes everything. If you're not sure where to listen, you can find a local Christian radio station. You can look up songs on Google, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to music. Make sure you add that into your time with Jesus. So those are a couple that we have. Another one is prayer cards. So I actually have some here to show you. These are just regular old index cards. Nothing fancy. Got them in a pack from Amazon. These are how I pray for people. It helps me to keep track of what they have going on in their lives, what their prayer requests are. So now it's not just me praying for me, I'm also praying for others as well. This is also something that you can do as you spend time with Jesus, as you're praying, as you're spending time in his word. But it can just be on a regular note card. It can be in your journal, which is another way to spend time with Jesus. You can journal and you can write down prayer requests that other people have. You can write down your own prayer requests as well. You also can just write down things that you have going on in your life. I used to not really journal too much, but I started doing it and I loved being able to look back. Years later, I'm able to look back at what I was going through in 2017, 2018, and I see how God brought me through those seasons, how he provided, how he answered my prayer requests, and it's really cool to be reminded of those things. So get you a journal. This is like a $3-4 journal from Ross. Nothing fancy, nothing special. It can be a regular notebook from Walmart. Whatever it is, you make it your own. You choose how it's going to look for you, and you go with it. And that's one of the final things I wanted to bring up. Make it your own. That's what it's going to be about. You can watch this video and you can do some of the things that I said. You can do all of the things that I said, but make sure you're not just doing it just because Stephanie's doing it. I want you to do it because this is what you like. This is what works for you. This is how you enjoy spending time with Jesus, because that is key. I want you to enjoy it. I want you to wake up and want to spend time with Jesus. And how are you going to do that? By making it fun, by making it your own. If you like to doodle, doodle. If you want to do devotionals, read a devotional. If you want to do it while you're spending time at the park, go for it. Whatever works for you, do it, rock out, live your best life, and grow spiritually. The more you spend time with Jesus, the more you become like him, the more you become what he wants you to be and what he's created you to be, and the more you will look up and see, wow, the Lord is transforming my life. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can be the first to know when a new video is released. Thanks so much for tuning in, and class is dismissed.